go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. I'm the Commish, your host here at mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. Looking for a place to play Dynasty football. We got over 600 leagues, never folded a single one. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Before we jump into it, I got my two co-hosts with me, the Doc, Dynasty Owl, two of our draft coordinators, podcast specialists. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing great.
Good. Yeah, I'm great. Another football Sunday in the books, so I'm feeling good.
Yep, me too, man. Gotta love fantasy football. Another great weekend. But hey, man, we're here to congratulate anybody that's watching. Congratulations, man. You're 3-0. I mean, your chances of making the playoffs are probably pretty high at this point. Your draft went well. Everything's went well. You're kicking butt. What do you do now? That's the question at hand, man. You're 3-0. And we're trying to help you get undefeated all the way through the whole season, if that's even possible.
Yeah,
we're gonna kick it.
It's possible.
Yeah, going to kick it over to you guys. You're 3-0. I'd love to hear some of the strategies you have and something you're doing at 3-0.
So I'll take this one. For me, what I like to do in a situation like this is find a guy that on my team I think has either outperformed his value in my eyes or is doing well because of his current situation, which is bound to change, and take him and another decent player and try and package to get a guy that's playing right now, Davante Adams, who maybe hasn't done what we expected thus far. So like, for example, like another guy in this game, a guy like Deebo Samuel, who I like a lot, but I expect to do a little less as the season goes on. I don't expect him to be this like elite receiver like he's been kind of thus far. You know, I expect Ayuk to come around, Kittle to get a little more use here and there as well. So I think he'll drop off. So a guy like that, you know, who's been doing well for you, that you think maybe he's not going to be that great down the line. You package him and I don't know, a running back, and maybe find someone who's frustrated with their superstar that hasn't produced thus far. That's what I like to do in this position, because I mean, the cream always rises to the top. A guy like Davante Adams, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why he hasn't popped the way we thought he would thus far, but I think all those reasons will become non-existent in a few short weeks. It might even happen tonight. But I feel like at the end of the day, those superstars are the guys that are going to win you leagues. So that's the kind of trade I like to make in this situation.
Yeah, I like it. It makes a lot of sense. And a guy that came to my mind just off the top was like taking Deebo Samuel and a Myles Gaskin or something like that.
Right, something like that.
But actually, I got to ask you a tough question here, Doc.
Okay.
Deebo, I think, is a good example. What are you doing if it's Cooper Kupp?
I'm keeping Cooper Kupp. I can't. I mean, I just think he's going to end up. I mean, I don't remember what I said last week, but I think top 5 is a lock for him. I really do. So
really?
I mean, if it's me, I got to keep him.
Really? So on the spot. So if it comes in your box right now, it's Davante Adams for Cooper Kupp and Myles Gaskins. You want the Kupp side going forward?
I think I do.
Wow.
I think I do. I have that much faith in Cooper Kupp. I feel like statistically, I mean, they're going to be pretty similar. I don't think there would be much of an upgrade.
Yeah, well, I'm going to save that for coming up. We're going to do an 0-3 special too. And hey, man, I'm going to use that. If you got Davante Adams, go trade him for Cooper Kupp. Turn your season around. Hey,
I mean, yeah, it's a good way to flip it around. If you are starting off bad, and you have one of those guys. That's a different episode.
You're right. All right, kick it over to you, Dynasty Owl. Man, you're sitting at 3-0. What's your next move?
Sure. So I love it. I love what the doc said. Basically, I've got the exact same strategy, but a couple of guys I'm going after, and that's McCaffrey and Saquon, the two kings from a couple of years ago. Obviously, McCaffrey just, pulled his hammy pretty good. Probably going to miss, at least a small handful of games. You're sitting at 3-0. His owner might not be. They're at 1-2, panicking a little bit. So you can, all of a sudden McCaffrey becomes obtainable. Even if you lose a couple of games while he's out, you've got the best player in fantasy back for your playoff stretch. So I think that's a pro move to go get him. Saquon's another guy where obviously the first 2 weeks was practically unstartable. You probably benched him week 3 because you were so unsure after the first couple. Today, he finally showed us, all right, he can give us a 20-point game again. I think there's still Saquon owners out there who still kind of regret picking him this year. And, he's now obtainable where, he can help you in the fantasy playoffs for sure and just down the stretch for the rest of the year. So I think Saquon's a good grab as well at this point if you're sitting good at 3-0.
Yeah, Saquon's slowly starting to get some momentum. I was a little worried at some point during that game today. I don't know, there was one play. If you guys get a chance to check it out, his goal line dive, man. They showed it in slow motion again. It was a really cool looking play, man. That guy's got some legs. He can get up there.
Oh yeah.
And it was actually a breath of fresh air to see Saquon put up a 20 banger today.
Yeah.
I was definitely getting concerned. But man, so basically what I'm hearing from you guys is go pick on the weak, man. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're sitting at 3-0, that's pretty much what you're doing, man. You're going out here looking at these 0-3, 1-2 rosters. And I love the McCaffrey take. I think he's the perfect guy to go get if you're sitting at 3-0. Go ahead, Dynasty Owl.
Yeah, so one other small one too that I had was guys like Javonte Williams, the rookie type running backs who haven't gotten the full workload yet because the Melvin Gordons are still around. But come down the stretch, we expect more and more opportunity for Javonte. So yeah, especially if you're at 3-0, you can afford to give up a little bit to go get that rookie running back who might produce later in the year. So he's another guy I kind of have on that 3-0 radar.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a great point. If you go back a month ago, we were drafting these guys knowing that they were going to start out a little slow to start the season. But I love it, man. Javonte, as the season goes, just should get more and more carries. And if you're 3-0, man, you got the luxury to wait a week or two if need be. So, all right. So I'm going to fire off mine real quick, pretty much along the same lines that you guys are thinking. You anyway, Dynasty Owl with Christian McCaffrey. Another guy I got my eye on is Michael Thomas. And one of the reasons I'm targeting the Michael Thomas owner, here at Masters, man, these drafts start June, or actually in May, we're running some. In June, we're running them. July. Some of these guys, man, were drafting Michael Thomas, in the second round. The end of the second round, that's where Michael Thomas was going. He goes down. So, man, you've been fighting now for 3 weeks, without your second round pick. And like for me, I have a few teams where I took J.K. Dobbins with my third round pick. So, I mean, I'm struggling, man. I'm 1-2. I'm 0-3. And I'm actually saying, I'm telling the 3-0 guys to go get them because I'm on the opposite end in a couple of these leagues. I'm going to look at the 3-0 guys to trade Michael Thomas away too. Because now, I mean, worst case, man, if he doesn't come back for a couple weeks, I feel like they have the luxury, can afford to wait on Michael Thomas. So that's definitely a move I'm going to make. And I know, man, that offense hasn't looked great yet. There's enough weapons on there. Sean Payton's a good enough offensive head coach. He'll get Michael Thomas involved. He's going to get the targets. I mean, the slant king, he'll be back. You'll be able to use them, and you'll be able to get them at a good discount. So for me, man, Michael Thomas, if I'm 3-0, that's my target.
I love that take. He was a guy that I drafted on almost all my redraft teams, like 9th, 10th round, something like that. Yeah, absolutely love the take. I feel like he's going to come back and he's got to have a chip on his shoulder. Last year was very rocky in terms of his how the league sees him, I feel like, and how the general public views him. So he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to come out and ball out a little bit. So yeah, I love that take.
And you know what? That's another thing I like about him, man. I love a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
Always love that.
Yep, same here. And I mean, he's got a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder too. So
yeah, no kidding.
Both got something to prove. But hey, man, if you're watching this, I mean, you're the one that's 3-0. So maybe in the comments, I mean, pass a little bit of information along, help some of these guys out, man. How'd you get there? I mean, maybe you should be giving me some advice, giving us some advice. I would love to hear your next moves if you're 3-0. I'll leave that in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, come be a part of the Masters family. Love to have you. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Devontae Adams already got a touchdown. My take's probably already stale.